South Beach here in Miami, Florida. We're in Miami Beach at the gorgeous Fontainebleau Hotel. Once again, the jewel of Miami Beach. And there in the dressing room with world-class trainer Freddie Roach is Guillermo Rigondeaux. We've talked about his amateur pedigree. One of the all-time great amateur fighters in the history of boxing. Claudio Trejo of ESPN Deportes now goes back to the days in Cuba before he even had professional aspirations.
The rhythmic sound of the speed bag echoes in a gym located in southwest Miami, where Guillermo Rigondeaux, who is considered the best Cuban amateur boxer of recent times, lays the foundation for his professional career. The first time ESPN interviewed Rigondeaux was in 2007 in Havana, Cuba. He was the star of the Cuban national boxing team, the hopeful to bring back a win from the Pan Am Games in Rio de Janeiro. In 2000, at age 20, he had been crowned national champion. Only 6 months later, he won his first Olympic gold. Then he repeated the feat in Athens 2004. During the 2007 interview, Rigondeaux was asked if he would become a professional boxer.
Here we don't practice professional boxing. In order to fight professionally, you have to leave the country, because here in Cuba, it is not allowed.
Este domingo los boxeadores Guillermo Rigondeaux y el Islam.
But during the Pan Am Games, Rigondeaux failed to show up at the weigh-in. Rumors that he had defected spread and were quickly picked up by the media. The following day, when he made it back to the Cuban camp, he said he had spent the night at a bar.
In Cuba, I could no longer box. They didn't allow me back on the national team. Many of my teammates were not allowed to talk to me, not because of them, but because they were prohibited to do so. Even those who were my best friends stayed away. It's a political thing. If they see them talking to me, they could get penalized. They took my car away, my most prized possession. Many wouldn't come close to my house because they were scared. A lot of people told me to leave because I was not going to amount to anything here. I had to hide out. I had to avoid people. I nearly went crazy. I decided to flee the country by my own means. So now I'm here to show what I'm made of and to win a world championship.
Earlier this year, Rigondeaux boarded a speedboat and headed towards Cancun. His goal, Miami, where he would contact his ex-teammate Yuriorkis Gamboa, who had defected in 2006 and was already fighting professionally. Rigondeaux left behind Cuba, his wife, his son, and his whole family.
It's a huge decision because you cannot return to that country. It is very difficult because you don't know how long it will be before you see your family again. It is so difficult living behind your family, but what's done is done. You have to go on with your life. Let's see how many fights it takes for me to win a title, since I've already made a name for myself.
We're talking about two-time world amateur champion, two-time Olympic gold champion. I mean, he has all the credentials in the world. There's no reason why he should not become world champion in the 122-pound division. I don't care who's there. Juan Manuel Lopez, Israel Vázquez, Rafael Marquez. They have not seen this type of fighter. I can guarantee you that. This is definitely the most decorated Cuban amateur fighter that has ever jumped into the program.
There's Guillermo Rigondeaux now. Again, Claudio Trejo of ESPN Deportes reporting there. Rigondeaux now in the ring. Let's take a closer look. It is Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Giovanni Andrade of Brazil. Andrade, again, experienced 51 professional wins with 41 knockouts. He is 51-11. When he has stepped up and fought in the United States, he has not been quite that successful. He is 39 years old, so he is not in his prime, clearly, and he has had most of his career fought in Brazil. As we do the bioblast on Giovanni Andrade, and he has fought some top competition, won his last 4 fights, but all in Brazil. Again, when he fights in the United States, not as much success against the higher level. Outside of his native Brazil, he is 2-11. Guillermo Rigondeaux, 28 years old, 5'5", 122 pounds. He is a junior featherweight, the incredible amateur record, one of the most accomplished amateurs in the history of boxing. As you heard Claudio Trejo report, he had the Cuban government not kept him off that last Olympic team in 2008. suspending him for trying to defect, allegedly. He may have become a 3-time Olympic champion, tying the all-time mark. So banned from the Cuban boxing team in 2007. He thought he had no choice. His car was taken away, and he left his wife and his 2 sons in Cuba. Very difficult situation for him. Let's go to the fight plan. Teddy Atlas has that.
The summer's coming to an end, but a great career is just getting started. One of the great amateurs of all time, 2-time gold medalist from Cuba, Rigondeaux, is stepping up into 10-round status in only his 3rd pro fight. We're going to see whether or not he can handle that. We're going to look at it in the fight plan. Talking about stepping up, Brian Kenny came down from Bristol, Connecticut. Left the air conditioning. Thank you.
There's a lot of sun down here. I didn't notice.
You caught some of it.
Very strong down here, Teddy. Out of the AC.
Well, it's good to have you here.
Good, thanks, man.
You're going to play Andrade. I'm going to play Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux's a southpaw. All his power, Brian, comes with the left hand. That's what he's got to worry about. Now, I noticed with Andrade, what he likes to do is he gets a little wild with that right hand. Now, right hands work against southpaws, but he throws a loop and run. And he's going to loop in with that. So I think what Rigondeaux has to do, he's going to step back and invite him to get wild. He's going to jab, step back, invite him to get wild a little. Then underneath, bang, left uppercut. He loves that punch. Or step back, maybe, bang, straight left hand. Either way, Rigondeaux, the left hand, little counter punching, and it's going to be an Indian summer. Never-ending summer. The sun always shining for Rigondeaux. A big win. All right, now, how is Andrade going to bring the sun down on Rigondeaux? Let's find out right now. Brian, you're going to play that great amateur, won 2 gold medals. He's a southpaw. You're in that stance. Now, when you fight Rigondeaux, all you have to worry about is that left hand. That's where all the danger, all the power comes from. He just paused with the jab, window dressing. So if I'm Andrade, I want to move to my left, away from that power punch. And then every once in a while, bang, jump in when you don't expect it with that looping right hand that you have, and it can work against the southpaw. If Andrade does that, well, it'll be Rigondeaux who needs sunscreen instead of you.
You're saying Saul was safe in his job?
So you're okay. He is going back to air conditioning, and he can't wait.
I like the air conditioning.
Not true. I'd rather be here with you, Teddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's nice to have you here with me.
And it's great to be here and get to see world-class boxing right here on Friday Night Fights. Guillermo Rigondeaux now ready to get into the ring with Giovanni Andrade. Sam Burgos is our referee.
Los puños aquí van a estar bien, ¿ok? ¿Alguna pregunta? ¿Alguna pregunta? Punch it right here, gonna be okay. It's gonna be legal. All right, touch him up, command the bell. Vamos, okay.
You see Freddie Roach there, first time in the ring with Guillermo Rigondeaux. As you see, the Tecate ring experience, and for this, we did the right thing here, Teddy. We didn't just put, you know, a couple of pro fights. Let's put them all in. 247 amateur fights, because Andrade very experienced as a pro, but again, almost all in Brazil. Has lost most of his fights here in the U.S., and Rigondeaux has fought the world's best consistently and beaten them consistently. We're underway.
And Andrade has been knocked out 3 times in his last 9 fights, and all of Andrade's wins have come against a low level of opposition. All his losses when he steps up to a good or even decent level of fighter. He is in with at least a good, if not terrific level of fighter in Rigondeaux tonight.
First 10-rounder for Guillermo Rigondeaux. He comes out with some purpose and force.
And maybe the most important thing that I can note here early is that A, Rigondeaux, very good body puncher, and B, Andrade has been knocked out by body punches before. Not only knocked out, he has given up. He has submitted in a fight where he was caught to the body. So difficult waters in front of him for Andrade.
Guillermo Rigondeaux very calm. You see his eyes. He's assessing, and then he pounces. When he gets his man hurt, it's usually over.
Well, he's going to get a chance to counterpunch here, Rigondeaux. Sometimes with certain kind of fighters, they stay on the outside. They don't give you a chance to counter. Andrade, his style, he's a little awkward. He'll move a little bit, and then all of a sudden he'll jump up or jump in with a looping right hand and leave himself a little exposed. I think that's what Rigondeaux is going to look for. That moment when Andrade jumps in a little bit and leaves himself a little available.
Andrade, I guess, doesn't like some of the tactics from Rigondeaux. He's been cuffed in the back of the head. Perhaps he's been hit at the belt. He said if he can get him into the later rounds, then it'll get interesting. But he also said, look, if he doesn't take me out early. So he also knows who he is in with, that he might get taken out early.
And again, Andrade, not a very conventional fighter. He'll move a little bit. You know, he'll throw a little bit awkwardly, unorthodoxly. And most importantly, when Andrade does throw, he will leave openings. He will leave holes. And as we've been talking about, Rigondeaux, that is his forte, to fill those holes.
Andrade, by the way, came in overweight, came in 126 pounds. He was supposed to be 122. The Rigondeaux camp made him lose some of that weight, but when he got within 2 pounds, they thought, all right, he made an effort. We're good. We just really want this fight. They're not going to be able to take 600 grand out of his pocket the way Floyd Mayweather is losing his money.
And again, you can see Rigondeaux, his temperament, it shows. He's a careful guy, he's a thoughtful guy, and he's a guy who's looking for counterpunch opportunities whenever he can get them.
Crazy uppercut by Andrade, but he's trying, and he just got through the first round against the two-time world champion and two-time Olympic gold medalist. Rigondeaux now goes into his corner with Freddie Roach, who he is living with in Los Angeles. Rigondeaux opts to stand, it seems.
Okay.
Not only is he living with Freddie Roach in LA in his apartment, Teddy, he cooks breakfast for Freddie Roach. Let's listen in.
Body, head, okay? Take your time.
Yeah.
Use your face.
Can't really hear too much there with Freddie Roach.
Okay.
He's saying body then head. If my hearing is correct. Take your time. You also have Rigondeaux saying, I don't need the stool. He's not used to going back and sitting down in his previous fights, but he opts to stand up. Rigondeaux 2-0, 2 KOs. With Freddie Roach in his corner for the first time. So that was the first time he got to go back to a corner and listen to his trainer, who he seems to love working with in the gym. Of course, Freddie Roach loves working with him. Who wouldn't? Round 2, Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Giovanni Andrade.
Rigondeaux knows the importance of making his presence felt here on national television. Coming in here, the lightest weight of his short career, 121.25 pounds tonight. His last fight, he was 123.
Well, he wasn't doing a lot of regular sparring when Freddie Roach got to him, Teddy. That's what Freddie told me, and he was quite shocked. The guy always works, and he's an incredible worker. But sometimes you'd be surprised where the structure is and where it isn't sometimes with these fighters.
Perhaps one of the bad omens for Andrade yet to come tonight is, of course, he's facing a southpaw tonight. 5 fights ago, Andrade was knocked out by a southpaw.
Andrade is yelling at him, come on. I don't think you need to do that.
And again, you see the temperament, and that's one of the assets, one of the strengths of Rigondeaux, is that he's very calm. He does not get affected by that stuff. And again, you see where his strengths are and what it is that he's looking to do at all times. He paws with that lead hand, with that southpaw right jab. He uses it more as a range finder, more as a tool to set up what he's always looking to set up, his power punch, the left hand.
Andrade is just cracking me up. He's so expressive with his face. Normally your face gives away nothing. Not Giovanni Andrade.
And again, you see that pouring jab of Rigondeaux. He doesn't use it really to score points, doesn't use it to do damage, uses it to get a measuring stick, so to speak, on the distance that he needs for that left uppercut or that straight left hand.
Andrade is just acted up. He goes down and takes a knee without a shot. I think he stepped back. Perhaps he lost his footing, and now he's getting counted. He didn't get hit.
Now don't forget,
He didn't get hit.
I had mentioned earlier that Andrade has submitted in a fight before. In other words, he has quit in a fight before.
Did I miss something, Teddy? He didn't get hit and he took a knee and he got counted. Okay. Andrade comes back now. He's a little slippery on his feet, sliding back and forth.
Right now, Andrade, to me, is not looking like a guy who's going after him because of bravado or confidence. To me, maybe I'm wrong, we're going to find out. Andrade looks like a guy who's going after him to get it over with.
He was in with his head that time. We're going to stay right here between rounds and see what Andrade, what his corner has to say to him. We heard Freddie Roach briefly there. Andrade will go to his corner after round 2 with a lot of acting up, histrionics. Fernando Soto is his trainer. Let's listen in.
Okay? Tranquilo. Mira. Cuando el Rigondeaux venga, así mismo sígalo llevando, pero no te le pegue para la soga. ¿Ok? Lo que lo está haciendo, vamos para el tercer asalto. Va muy bien. Va muy bien. Pero mira,
knockdown, as it was ruled a knockdown. Yeah, he stepped down, stepped back. Maybe his foot went over on the side of the apron where it slopes down, Teddy, and he buckled, but he certainly didn't get hit. But he took a knee. Is that a knockdown? I mean, he did take a knee, I guess.
He went down. I mean, obviously he went down from what we can see voluntarily.
But a slip?
And knowing that it's not football, that was not a fair catch. I mean, we know that.
You can't call time.
No.
You can't call do-over.
No.
So it's counted as a knockdown. He took a knee. Guillermo Rigondeaux, we don't figure is going to worry about the scorecards too much here. Just a matter of what Giovanni Andrade was able to throw at him. Round 3 now here in Miami Beach. Brian Kenny, Teddy Atlas, the world champion Guillermo Rigondeaux against the man in the white trunks from Brazil, Giovanni Andrade, age 39.
And again, for all the talent of Rigondeaux, it is not the jab that will get your attention. Again, he uses that southpaw jab as a measuring stick, as a setup punch. He's always looking for him, it's the power punch. It's the backhand. It's the left hand where he can turn his back into it, he can pivot his foot into it, and where he can deliver it in the form of a left uppercut or a straight left hand over top.
Freddie Roach has said that he has the talent of Manny Pacquiao and the calmness of James Toney. James Toney was extremely comfortable in the ring.
I'm looking for Rigondeaux to start to find the body of the taller, leaner Andrade. There's a couple reasons for it. First of all, Andrade using his legs for defense. No better way that's a slip there. No better way to take the air out of the tires and take some of that movement away from Andrade than to go downstairs to the body. So look for Rigondeaux to start doing more of that. And like I mentioned earlier, Brian, Andrade does not like it to the body. He has given up in a prior fight from taking body shots.
Now body and head attack from Rigondeaux. Andrade just a little shaky on his feet, slipping. He's already going back over the ring apron. He's done that once before. It cost him a knockdown, as it was called. And he just did it again seconds ago.
You're seeing the calm of Rigondeaux, but you're seeing maybe some of the flaws of him too. One of the things that I think he has to improve on, and I'm not going to say that in any way it's going to be anything that you're going to walk away from this fight saying that he's not going to be a world champion. But one of the things, as he steps up the boxing line and fights better opponents than Andrade, he's going to have to learn to lead a little bit, to set up his own offense once in a while, not to always wait for the offense on the back end, on the counter-punching end.
That is something, as we were, Teddy, you and I talking about Floyd Mayweather taking on Juan Manuel Marquez, the lightweight champion, tomorrow night in Las Vegas. Floyd, if he sees his man laying back, will pounce on somebody.
Yes,
he'd rather counter, but he will do it.
He will come forward. Right now, you can see Rigondeaux has not learned how to do that too much. And
tough body shot, and now Andrade opts to go down, and now he's wincing in pain. He does get up. Didn't seem like it was a particularly vicious shot, but who are we to say?
He's shaking his head, he's quitting.
And it's it, that's it.
He's quitting.
Unfortunate. Sam Burgos waves it off because that's his job. If Andrade says no, then that's no. Not a horrific body shot, but well placed, it seemed. And Guillermo Rigondeaux is still perfect. 3 fights, 3 knockouts as a professional.
Well, there were certain things we knew going into this fight. We knew that, as I said at the very beginning, Andrade had been knocked out to the body before, had given up from body punches before. and we also knew that Rigondeaux was a good body puncher.
It was one shot that we saw, as we see, maybe in the floating rib. Andrade is wincing in pain. We're going to see it right here. There it is. It's a well-placed shot. Your thoughts, Teddy? Go ahead.
No, well-placed shot. We're going to take another look. The left hand up top sends him back, and then the left hand finds the right spot. What I like about that is Rigondeaux has the eyes to see the opening. Just watch right here. Just a small opening where the elbow is on the inside, so he throws the left hand on the outside. That takes a very calm athlete to be able to see that opening instantaneously and place the punch to that opening. And that is the 250 amateur fights of Rigondeaux.
And we have seen at the world-class level one-shot, body shot knockouts before. We've seen it before with Bernard Hopkins against Oscar De La Hoya. We've seen it with Arturo Gatti against Leonard Doreen.
Look, let's face it, Andrade did not, and we touched on this before it got to this conclusion, Andrade did not show the constitution of a top fighter. We understand that. But we're looking at the positives of Rigondeaux in there with a very difficult style opponent to really look good against. And Rigondeaux, what did you see? You saw his temperament. He likes to counterpunch. He has quick hands, and he has power when he delivers that left hand, whether it's upstairs or downstairs.
One body shot ends this one. Let's get the official count from Bob Alexander.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Fontainebleau, Miami Beach, your referee in charge, Sam Burgos, stops this bout at 2 minutes, 53 seconds of the third round. Your winner by TKO, still undefeated, Guillermo El Chacal Rigondeaux.
Guillermo Rigondeaux, still perfect, and you see the class, you see the high level of skill, you saw the calmness. We would have loved to have seen more, as I'm sure you must feel the same way. Let's take a look once again. Teddy, I think you brought up some good points. He is going to need to learn to step forward and take his man out. He stepped out and he did it all too easily here.
And again, a good, clean body punch, not the constitution you want to see from a fighter or the behavior you want to see from Andrade, but it was a clean punch. You saw it right there. And again, good eyes by Rigondeaux. He saw that that elbow was over a little bit on the inside. What did he do? He took that left hand, he placed it on the outside.
You see Guillermo Rigondeaux coming down with his trainer, Freddie Roach. Andrade disappointed. His night is over. But Guillermo Rigondeaux coming down to us. Teddy and I will speak to the two-time Olympic champion here on Friday Night Fights Live right after this. Back here in Miami Beach, the fans are excited. Got what they expected, a knockout win by the world-class world champion Guillermo Rigondeaux. We're joined now by Guillermo Rigondeaux and his promoter Luis Tacubas. All right, Luis, why don't you ask him his thoughts in the ring, what he saw and how the fight was. Let's get him back over here. His thoughts on the fight. What did he think of the fight tonight?
Bueno, ya que un boxeador que tiene bastante experiencia, ha peleado con los boxeadores buenos de esa división. Y bueno, yo vine a ganar mis títulos y bueno, en 3 peleas me siento ya uno entre los grandes. Y bueno, estoy ahí ahora buscarle un título mayor que ese.
He's a fighter with great experience. You know, he knew he was coming to win. He wanted to win the title, his first title. He's an experienced guy, and he just wanted patience so he could place a shot and take him out of there.
Tell us about the body shot.
Dime de cuerpo abajo, que como le metiste la mano abajo.
Bueno, ese es mi arma fundamental, lo mismo gancho con la recta del tronco, y ese golpe me ha salido efectivo. Casi todo mi combate ha sido por nocaut con ese golpe efectivo abajo.
Most of my knockout in the amateurs with body shots. You know, I placed it, try to come right back upstairs. I didn't have to in this one. I placed it right, and he was out of there.
All right, Teddy, go ahead.
Teddy.
Louis, the thing that I would ask is, once he saw his opponent was an opponent that was moving, he was a little unorthodox, he was using his legs, in his mind, was he concentrating just on the body, and in his mind did he say, hey, this guy's made for me because my forte is to go downstairs?
¿Qué tú pensaste enseguida que tenías que ir abajo con el tipo porque estaba hecho para ti para abajo?
Sí, ya estaba ahí, ya ese estaba hecho a la medida mía, ya aparte ya bastante mayor. yo sabía que no iba a aguantar los 10 rounds. Y bueno, empecé a trabajarle abajo, más pasivo, más pausado, y salió el knockout.
He knew that if he stayed with the body, you know, this guy would never go the distance, and that's what he was trying to do, work the body and work his way up.
I know he's had 250 amateur fights. He's won 2 gold medals. He's seen everything. Has he seen guys that talk to him the way this guy talked to him and behaved the way this guy behaved? With that kind of...
Un peleador que te ha tratado de esa forma y que te ha hablado y que ha jugado contigo en el ring con tantas peleas.
Ya yo le he dejado ya tranquilo, ya esa gente se dejan por imposible. Ellos solo van cayendo, uno por uno, suavecito. Yo soy tranquilo, pausado y lo demás se resuelve aquí arriba.
Don't let none of that bother him. You know, he can do whatever he wants in there. You know, he's very calm and he knows what he's got to do.
Let me ask one question to his great trainer, Freddie Roach. Freddie, terrific job with him. You have a terrific protege here. But the question that I would ask from a training standpoint is, he's a great counterpuncher, but he's going to have to be able to lead sometimes in certain fights. Is that something you're concerned with? And is that something that you're going to work on, being able to do it on the front end, not just on the back end?
Definitely, that's our biggest concern is being a little more active, being a little more offensive, and not just countering 1 punch at a time, but countering with 2 and 3 punches, more combinations, but definitely needs to start leading to some guys because, you know, there's guys out there that won't come to you sometimes, so you have to take that charge and be more aggressive. It's something we're definitely working on, and, you know, he's such a gift. For 3 pro fights, I mean, he's so above where he's at right now. I would honestly say I want a title fight soon.
You have to love that calmness. You don't get too many guys that calm.
You don't. I mean, I said, you know, he's the calmest guy. He's James Toney, but he doesn't talk.
Thank you, Freddie. Good luck.
Freddie Roach, who now goes to the Philippines to train Manny Pacquiao. Life is good. Congratulations, Freddie. Guillermo, congratulations to you. Teddy and I coming back here as we look at Guillermo Rigondeaux getting his 3rd knockout in a row as a professional. We'll talk big men, Klitschko, Arreola, when we return.
I got something for you.